Of the country, and we're talking about the extreme cold now to follow. It's impacting our area. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt with you. We're going to be talking about not just one, but another big surge of cold air that could impact the state later this week.
Certainly, Wes, and that wicked winter storm system crippling parts of the South tonight, leaving hundreds of thousands in the dark. And on this first alert weather day for extreme cold, we're on your side with why wind chill makes it even colder and how you should bundle up head to toe if you're going to be out in this kind of weather.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts with breaking news.
And right now, that breaking news, obviously, Tania, is the cold that's making its way in across the state for a lot of us, staying below freezing all day.
Oh, yeah, and the worst part about it is that areas to our north without power in this bitter cold.
Yeah, seeing those numbers down in the single digits as far as temperatures across states surrounding us. And for us tonight, I still think places like Hamilton, Haleyville, Coleman, those areas north, we could be as low as 9 degrees tomorrow morning. And it's well below freezing right now. We're already seeing some 20s. The good news is no additional icy development through this week, as we are expecting dry weather to continue through the middle of the week. Now, it could get kind of interesting by Friday or Saturday as another system's tracking across the Gulf. It looks like parts of Alabama may catch the northern end of that, maybe down in the southern part of the state. Around here, models have been locked in on a drier solution, but last week, this time they were locked in on an icy solution, right? And things sort of changed. So we will watch that closely over the next couple of days. Just stay weather alert and check the forecast. But we do see right now for the weekend, one thing we're certain of, another surge of frigid air on the way. That's going to be one of the next big things. And we're talking about temperatures as cold as wind chills below zero, possibly by Saturday morning. Right now, it's cold out there. Now, this is not snow falling. What you're seeing, some ground clutter from the radar. So it's so cold that the radar algorithms got it flipped over into the wintry mode, but it's dry, skies clear. Temperatures now showing 19 at Coleman, 18 degrees at Haleyville, so it is ice cold out there in some of those locations. And the wind is still at about actually showing a 12-mile-per-hour wind speed at Aniana. There's a little bit of a chill at the moment. That wind has been brutal today and is making wind chills as low as 9 degrees right now at Haleyville. So we do have the extreme cold all across the state, and forecast lows for tomorrow morning. We do eventually expect that wind to settle down overnight tonight, and you can see temperatures as low as 12 at Anniston, Gadsden at 10, 11 at Pell City and Center, Birmingham, Hoover around 13 and 14 to Aliceville and Tuscaloosa, but teens all the way down to Demopolis. But look at all the power outages with these kind of temperatures tonight. Tennessee, the number's still up to 200,000, and then you can see 140,000 customers over in the Mississippi. Of course, a lot of this caused by the buckling of the weight of the ice on a lot of the trees from states from Louisiana all the way to the Carolinas. Yeah, people across Tennessee waking up to the frightening sounds of ice, trees falling, the deadly winter storm leaving hundreds of thousands of people in Tennessee and Mississippi without power, with inches of snow, sleet, and freezing rain creating dangerous frozen landscape. And while power crews are working to restore power across the South, some customers could be without power for days, even we're talking weeks. People are also being told not to drive if they can avoid it. Travel has been dangerous with, of course, the roads iced over and then refreezing. The city of Oxford was even under a shelter-in-place order as trees and large limbs were scattered across the road. Folks say this is the worst they've seen winter conditions in a very long time.
Rifles and bombs, these trees cracking and crashing. I mean, it was crazy. Some of them were mine.
Last night we got the gas fireplace going and we all hunkered down in the living room by the fireplace.
Definitely one of the worst ice storms in years to strike the southeast, and you can see just how close that intense ice accumulation was to us here across central parts of Alabama. And even North Alabama didn't get quite as much ice as we saw just up the road there in places like Nashville, but we'll continue to monitor those conditions and keep you aware of what's happening as folks recover. And we're going to be talking again about more cold weather coming up later on this week. Looks like maybe, Tania, another significant system could develop along the East Coast.
Oh yeah, Wes, and this is the perfect time to remind everyone how to stay safe and warm. And one way you can stay warm during these first low weather days with these frigid temperatures is going to warming shelters if you don't have a warm place to be. And they're opening tonight and throughout this week to help people stay safe and warm and even find a hot meal to eat. Volunteers at warming shelters in Birmingham and Bessemer say they need donations this week to help as many people as they can, from blankets, jackets to warm meals. Folks at the shelters telling us the goal is to help as many people as they can.
We can always use like extra grab and go snacks. We can use extra jackets. We need larger size jackets. Hand warmers are always good.
Shampoo and conditioner, and we are running out of deodorant. And so any individual size, travel size deodorants, body wash, shampoo is greatly needed right now.
Right now on the WBRC News app, we have a list of warming shelters in our area. We'll update that list as we get more locations. And right now, school districts across our viewing area making changes to schedules for tomorrow. Many are on a delay and some are still canceled because of the cold. We have this full list up right now on the WBRC News app. And some of our West Alabama communities remain under a flood warning for their rivers. Many of us getting a lot of rain over the weekend, up to 4 inches for some spots. And your First Alert meteorologist Matt Daniel takes a look at the exact totals.
Well, we had such an impressive storm impact the eastern half of the country. We had snow all the way from New Mexico, Texas into the Great Lakes in the Northeast. We had ice storms in the Carolinas and Mississippi, snow and ice in Tennessee. And then, of course, we even saw severe weather in southeastern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and the southern portions of Georgia. So very dynamic system, lots of impacts, hundreds of thousands of people without power. And, of course, we were mentioning here we were lucky. We ended up with just rain for the most part. And check out the rainfall totals over the past 5 days, easily 2 to 4 inches. Higher totals in Lamar and Fayette, Walker, and Coleman counties. A little bit lower in East Alabama, but still pretty impressive, between 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. I want to show you some of the rainfall totals from some of our weather watchers. From Graysville, Debbie Alexander, over 3 inches of rain recorded where she was at. In Lamar County, Tony McDonald, 3 inches of rain there. And in Coker, Ronald Hughes picking up over 2.5, almost 2.5 in Oakman from Sarah Porter. And in Birmingham, over 1.5 inches of rainfall from Joey, and John King from Alabaster reporting almost 1.5 inches of rainfall. In fact, we had a lot of rain in one day. This has actually broke the daily record of rainfall in Tuscaloosa on January 25th. Yesterday, picked up 2.19 inches of rainfall. The old record was 1.95 inches, set back in 1976, so pretty impressive. So where are we when it comes to rainfall for the month of January? We have surpassed our average. Normally we'll pick up about 5 inches of rain. We're almost close to 7 inches of Birmingham. Check out Tuscaloosa. Almost 8.5 inches of rain's fallen this month alone, and 6.25 just about for Anniston. So very impressive rainfall totals. And I want to show you a little bit about the winter side of things. How much freezing rain was picked up in parts of Alabama. Not a lot, but in Cherokee, we had just 8 miles northeast of that area. An inch of freezing rain was recorded. Waterloo, about 10 miles northeast of that area, about an inch of freezing rain. Then when you went to Florence, they picked up about 0.3 of an inch of freezing rain. But really the big story for them, they picked up 2 inches of sleet. And then Haleyville and Huntsville, not a lot, but just a little bit, maybe a little bit of a glaze, about 1/100 of an inch of freezing rain recorded in those spots. Here's a look at some of the lows from this morning. We had a lot of snow to the north, lots of cold air. As we were mentioning, we're probably going to wake up into the upper teens and low 20s. That's exactly what happened. And check out some of these temperatures from our weather watchers. Again, Piedmont, 17 degrees from Rick. In Lamar County from Tony, we got 17 degrees. It was 18 in Oakman. And looking at 18 there. And Galesville and Delta, 19 degrees from Tony, and 19 in Pinson from weather watcher Johnny Farrell. And we really appreciate all our weather watchers for helping us out. But look how much snow is on the ground. This is our current snow cover across the country, lots of it. So when you get cold air masses spilling down into the southeast, they don't modify as quickly because it got so much snow on the ground. Therefore, it means colder temperatures for us. So that's going to be something we'll be watching tonight with very cold weather. So make sure you bundle up and stay warm.
All right, as we take a look at those temperatures out there at the moment, it is very, very cold, and we are talking well below freezing in a lot of areas. Haleyville showing 18 degrees right now, 19 at Coleman. If you check some of the radar scans, the ground clutter, yeah, you see that is not snow. It's just that's, again, some ground returns coming in. But 29 at Tuscaloosa, 27 at Anniston. Just want to show you this map, though, so you can see those temperatures. But all the flurries, that's moved well on out of here, and the sky has cleared out for tonight. But looking back at yesterday, we did see some confirmations of tornadoes, and there was one that popped up today. It was in Lowndes County. The National Weather Service confirming an EF1 tornado with peak winds of 90 miles per hour. This would be near Rolling Acres. This was to the west of Montgomery. So down around the Montgomery area, we saw a lot of those storm reports coming in, but Montgomery South, where we saw most of the severe weather, and down in towards Geneva, Alabama yesterday. So it was certainly a busy day, from tornadoes in the southeast corner of the state to ice storm warnings in the northwest corner of the state. But another big blast of colder air coming up later on this week. We're going to be talking about that. Meteorologist Megan Thomas is on your side right now with a first alert for wind chill and why you need to bundle up, of course, from head to toe. And she's got some expert advice when it comes to protecting your pipes.
Between this morning and tomorrow morning, we are going to be talking a lot about the wind chill. But actually, a friend of mine called me this weekend and she said, Megan, my husband and I are debating on this. It's 40 degrees outside, but the wind chill says 25. Doesn't that just mean it's 25 degrees? I said, no, the actual air temperature is 40. 25 is what it feels like to your skin. So let's break it down for you. Easy way to understand this. When you have really light wind, normal body heat when it is calm, all right? So then you get this layer of heat that our body generates. So if the wind is light, your body feels fine. Feels like 40, your body feels like 40. When you get a really stiff wind like we've seen this morning and what we could experience overnight again, the wind causes the heat to remove itself from your body, so you don't get this insulated layer around your body. So again, the wind chill always makes it feel a little bit colder to your skin. That is why hypothermia, frostbite are a concern when the wind picks up and the wind temperature and the wind chill drops to those single digits. So the key here is to always bundle up. You want your head protected, your hands protected, your feet, and of course your neck as well. You don't want the heat to escape your body. You want to trap it right around. And speaking of trapping heat, we also want to protect your home from the extreme cold. Hazards are the frozen pipes, and that is a concern. When the pipes freeze, they can burst. So what you can do to prevent bursting of the pipes, you can remove the drain and store outdoor hoses inside. You can cover them. Consider insulating materials for exposed pipes. I know my family went to Home Depot this past weekend and bought spigot covers. You can do that as well. You let the cold water drip from the faucet. Now, I also read something this weekend that it's not necessarily the drip. You almost want it to have a consistent light stream, because even with the drip, plumbers are suggesting that it could still freeze. So you need just that consistent light drip. Maybe put a cup or a bowl so that way you can reuse that water the next morning. Open kitchen and bathroom cabinets at the bottom underneath the sink. Now, this is going to help that warmer air from the kitchen, the living room, to help circulate around those pipes. That won't cause them to freeze. And leave the heat no lower than 55 degrees. Those are some cold weather tips. We'll talk much more about the rest of the cold night we're anticipating through the rest of Weather Extra.
A first alert for dangerously cold temperatures staying with us through the night tonight and tomorrow. We've got your updated forecast just ahead.
All right, and welcome back. Right now, 19 degrees in Coleman. Yes, we are well below freezing. A lot of us out there will be seeing temperatures down into the teens and single digits in some locations for tonight. So be ready for the very hard freeze to start the day. We're still below freezing for at least part of the day. We do expect highs rising into the mid to upper 30s, close to 40 during the afternoon with some sunshine. Looks like for tomorrow, though, that won't last long because tomorrow, as soon as that sun sets, back below freezing again. So be ready for temperatures back into the 20s tomorrow night. So we're dealing with some frigid air, and even though the wind switches around to the west to southwest, it's still a breeze. With that kind of chill, it is going to add a chill to the air during the day tomorrow. So bundle up out there, cold stuff, and make sure tonight you drip those faucets. This is the pipe bursting kind of cold that we're currently dealing with. A lot of talk about the end of the week. We've been telling you about the possibility of a system in the Gulf again, and yes, the models are picking up on a system, but it looks like that is going to stay mostly south of us this time. We'll watch it just in case it jogs a bit further north, but what we're seeing right now is a possibility that this really gets going as it moves up the east coast. So this could certainly be another significant winter storm system, but it looks like it might have more of its impacts along the east coast. It's something we're watching because one thing we do see, some more frigid air that's going to wrap in behind this system. Once it gets going, it is going to pull in some of those single-digit to negative wind chills. Already, we're starting to see by Saturday morning some numbers like this with the wind chill. Look at that, -10 in Coleman. Not to say we'll be this cold, but just showing you some of the signals we're seeing in the data. Certainly a second blast of frigid Arctic air. It's coming later on this week. And one thing about air like this, when it's so cold and it's so dry, yeah, every door handle you grab, just giving you the first alert there for the static shock, but also your sinuses, you know, you crank up the heater in the house. A good time right now to maybe if you have a humidifier, you want to crank those up, but it's just super dry at the moment, and those temperatures will take a big tumble because of that during the overnight hours. 10-day forecast as we look ahead Wednesday to Thursday, highs in the 40s, lows in the 20s. Again, Saturday's the day we may be calling another first alert weather day for extreme cold. Certainly be alert for the possibility of temperatures staying below freezing throughout the entire day, and we'll see just how low those temperatures go. Right now, keeping it dry. Just don't see overwhelming support of any precipitation, but it is something we will watch. Anytime we have a system to the south, I always say we got to watch it, especially for the weekend. But we know last week how things can change, so we need to just keep an eye on our forecast throughout the week. Looks like in a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, basically a week from Wednesday, there's another system out there, which right now it looks like temperatures will be warm enough to support wet weather. But check the weather app for the long range, and I know, Tania, you'll be telling us a lot more about what's going on down the road here. Of course, the temperature is the big story.
Oh yeah, Wes, temperatures are certainly the big story, but I do want to give some people updates if they need to travel or if they have a flight anytime soon, that there are some airport delays across parts of the country due to the winter weather impacts over the past weekend. And that's mainly 2 airports at this moment. We're seeing major delays in Dallas at DFW and over and towards New York at JFK. So those are 2 of the airports where I'm seeing more of those major delays. Most airports have done their icing routines, and that has improved airport conditions. But here we are looking at some of the impacts across parts of the country. Snow totals near New York and also in parts of Dallas, where they saw not just snow, but more of that icier type of precipitation. Those totals are still, they're showing up as very high. I mean, 20 inches near the New York area, around 7 in parts of North Texas. So yeah, big impacts from that winter storm over the past weekend. But let's take a look here at home, what you can expect beyond that 10-day forecast, taking you 8 to 14 days out from now, February 3rd through the 9th. We're tracking more below average temperatures here across the southeast, east coast, and northeast parts of the country. And as I look at those temperatures beyond the 10 days, some of the warmest temps I see, low 50s, possibly around February the 4th. But I'm not seeing a whole lot of 50s ahead of us, guys. More freezing conditions, more 40s. But here we are looking at some of the coldest temperatures ahead of us. Around February the 9th, could see some 20s and maybe some teens again across central Alabama. Now, what about rainfall? Precipitation looks very low, below average. average February 3rd through the 9th across the south and east. And when I look at some of our models showing us rainfall totals for the first few days of February through February the 9th, I'm not seeing a whole lot. Maybe a 1/10 of an inch, maybe just over a 1/10 of an inch of rainfall accumulation there in Marion County. So we look fairly dry for the first several days of February. But that's a look at that beyond the 10-day forecast. We'll keep you up to date. But now I want to talk about this because folks across the state got their first look at snow this morning. This is how it looked in Hamilton earlier this morning. And you're Mickey Ferguson sharing some of your viewer video and pictures.
It's weather picture time here on Weather Extra, and we've received so many videos and pictures from you, our viewers. Thank you so much for sending these in because the pictures tell the story pretty much of what we've been talking about. April sent this in from Fayette County, and I tell you what, that was coming down a nice, respectable amount of snowfall coming through into Fayette County. We had some other some flurries. This is in Oak Mountain, right near the high school there. Molly Blaylock sent this in. Got a dusting on her porch there. So yeah, it was coming down in various areas. We've got a viewer submitted this photo. This is in Sevierville, Tennessee. Now those aren't actual bears. Those are like little silhouettes of bears. It's just I don't know, some display. But they had some snow up there into Tennessee. Rita Donahue sent that in. And Stacy Watkins, her dog's traipsing through the snow. Some of these animals, it's always interesting to look at it from their perspective because some of them have never experienced the white stuff before. So it's neat to see. And Harriet Dodd sent this in. This is Petey on the Pond in Highland Lake in Blount County. Don't do it, Petey. Petey, I know you want to try it, but don't do it, Petey. We don't know how. Petey, back up, Petey. And this cat's got the right idea. Staying inside. This is an outdoor cat brought indoors, and it's like, oh, this feels so much better inside than it did outside. I think I'll just stay here a little bit. Brock sent that in. Garland Brock, excuse me. So if you want to send in a picture or video of our wintry weather, send it on in through the First Alert Weather app, and we'll show some more of these right here on Weather Extra later on this week. But just download the free app, use this QR code if you need to, and scroll down to the bottom where it says Submit Photos, and you can be a part of Weather Extra.
All right, how things have changed from this time last week, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what a system it moved through. Yeah, we're watching the weekend coming up here, and there's a system over the Gulf that we'll keep an eye on it. The good news is right now, no matter what we look at, it's not pointing to a crippling ice storm.
Oh, yeah, I'm not seeing that impact yet, but it will. It does look cold, though, certainly. I mean,
Yeah.
we went milder on the temperatures. It could go even lower than that.
Yeah, 30 degrees, milder, right? Yeah, that's the kind of cold we're talking about possible coming up. So check in with us tonight. We'll have some updates at 9 o'clock, and, of course, we'll see you at 10.